I despise sometimes? It's the OBS, right? It had to update. I guess there was an update in Windows as well. You know. I still hate that chess piece. There was no good aesthetics for this class, but I got tired of looking at, actually got tired of looking at the character for this one. Ah. Very Masterworks. Yeah, so a lot of stuff, I don't know, like, sometimes I feel like Ascended Uniques. I'm just running these, and I need to run the other ones, so. Don't know if I like the look of the color on this one. This character, it's weird, but there are no good aesthetics for this class. Like, when you get into the whole, like, what this class looks like, it just doesn't fit it without buying one of the other skins, the actual skins for the game. It's definitely weird. It's like Spiritborn did not get the, they got the really good stuff in the certain parts of the game, but they didn't get the good aesthetics. So it's either you basically always have the weird native aesthetics, or it's just awkward. Unfortunately. Every other class seemed to win the award in not looking horribly special ed. I mean, to me, Necromancers still have the overall best aesthetics. It's just partly because Sorcerers are good too, but the idea is if you're going for a class that wins at least looks that don't look bad. But I have to fix this class too, like, I'm closer, like, I can run up to 90 solo, but I'm not sure about the whole aesthetic of, I did something, then I had to bump myself down to, like, I actually had to bump myself actually physically down to close to, like, 85. I just was like, oh god, like, where did I fuck up there? Like, I'm probably gonna have to go sell resources or something. I'm like, if the person's back on, and there'll be another person on eventually, and they're like buying opals for 200 million. I'm like, I mean, if you're buying opals for 200 million each, I mean, I wish you luck. I mean, yeah, that's worth it more in the long run for me than that. Weird. But this character, though, it's Quill-volley is Quill-volley at the end of the day. It's so funny when I actually get the upgrades for this character. Not even the full, when I don't even have the full paragons. Which is strange how it's just this character is powerful enough for it. Now, I have other alternates, which I'm probably going to try, but be honest, it's... I'm not sure. There's a couple of others I need to try and I want to see because it makes sense with Quill-volley, but Quill-volley I'm just going with what's on the 10 currently in the build. And I mean, it works, but it works about as well as you expect for what Quill-volley is. Quill-volley is still the fastest, I think, next to Crushing Hand clear. But you're spamming attack, so... And no one likes running these in particular, which is weird to me. Like, I would rather... Like, I don't know why people... It's like, well, but you don't get rewards for doing it. Like, but why make it a solo Kursk thing anyways? Because it's so dumb to make these absolute rewards. And I had to fix my own mic. It's like, apparently one of the Windows updates, combination of my mic actually got on a different setting. Screwed up that setting too. I'm like, well, that's great. I didn't even realize it. None of the people were like, ooh, you can't say it. I'm like, oh, now I know why my mic's picking stuff up more. I only noticed it like probably Monday. I think it's what happens when you have a cat that one or two that runs across your desk because reasons. And they think they're helping. I mean, honestly, they believe they're helping, and then they don't help. Something you quickly find. I'm really in the search of better gear. Basically just delete things. If it's just gonna give me 1 stars, I swear this is gonna be fucking fruitless. If it just gives me 1 stars, I don't understand why it just gives me that. 1 stars don't help me out. I need 2 GAs. Day, I finally feel better too. See, 60 seconds is a lot more lenient. These are just veritably short. I was basically doing pits, not pits, but I call them pits, but infernal hordes this morning. Now, the only other thing I need for this build, and it's very expensive, that no one, I mean, they don't part with it because it's just that stupid. Now, I got a little greedy this morning and decided to re-roll something until the final 2. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, nope. And it kept giving me sore, so I got an attribute on my gloves that are bad. So... again. Hmm. Aha, so smug. How are you? Wow. When doesn't it rain in the UK? I thought that was a joke about what? At least that's London, right? London. You don't see the sun. It's like Seattle. It goes beyond the northern wastes, doesn't it? No, yeah, no. Oh, by the way, I should have sent you the story. Did you hear about Macron's parliament basically has fallen? Macron's like the last one standing. So the support, so basically, the yellow vest riots that have been going on all through, still for like how long? Because it's like the migrant issue. Apparently, all support for the French Parliament has fallen. At least Macron's party, and Macron's like the last one standing, and he hasn't resigned. Because I was gonna send you that story. It's actually funny because many people don't realize the yellow vest riots have still been a thing. Except when you're looking at Reuters, and I had to redo my mic because apparently no one like. See, I have a setting on my mic. I need to get a filter for it. So then I realize I'm like, okay. Then I realize because I'm using the mic I'm using to stream with too. Oh yeah, by the way, the thing on Clownfish, right? Everyone's trying to hype up Blue Sky, but no one is talking about why Jack Doherty left. Like literally, Jack Doherty left that. Like you, yeah, yeah, and they've been. It's the no. You know what it is? It's not that the hug box got taken over. It's the hug box that they fucked up got taken, went to shit, and then somebody. They act like this is new. Do you remember when the Tumblrites went to Reddit and went to DeviantArt? I mean, Tumblr was really the weird fan fiction, like, was it that it rivaled WordPress as far as the weird site? Um, Tumblr was the container facility for a lot of degenerates, basically. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. So, the guy bought it, and then it had no value because the only thing on the value of that platform was the blogs. Tumblr? Yeah, I'll have to help. See, I'm getting my Spiritborn leveled, which is like the utterly broken one that I can only play in tier 4. I'm like, God. The only thing I hate about by the way, what I hate about Diablo 4 and any game in general, it's like everyone's like praising. They're like, well, did you know Path of Exile's getting released today? I'm like, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? No, all these people are like, Path of Exile's gonna kill Diablo 4, and like, it's like saying Marvel Rivals, basically the new hero shooter, League of Legends is gonna take off. I'm what do you know of Path of Exile and the Warframe community on from? They call it superior, but you wouldn't have Path of Exile without one of the early Diablo devs. And it's basically a Diablo clone with a random generator that has the basically shitty engine that hasn't aged well. Oh, to be fair, it's just weird prior. It doesn't annoy me. It's just like they always treat it as a holier than thou product, and it ain't a. It's not a holy. It's not a holier than thou product. Well, yeah, no. They went back and they just went back to what worked. Hmm? A lot of people like Dragonflight. So, Battle for Azeroth. Battle for Azeroth was definitely parts of it were not thought of as good. Okay, what was actually the other one? What was the no, actually parts of it was really hit or miss was I'm not really a Blizzard fanboy, the BFA was bad. The Dead expansion was kind of mid. Yeah. The what they Jailer, yeah, all that one. Shadowlands, yeah. It's just weird. Some people don't like it. Well, to be fair, right? Supposedly in a world that they throw him underneath a bus. Like, apparently, one of the mages in the War Within, like, stuff gets, like, thrown off and crippled, but they have to put him in a magical wheelchair. Like, he. In a world that they can't just heal. Like, okay. Because they think he's dead. Like, there is the thing of they think he's absolutely dead, but he isn't dead. It's like, it's that realm of. I think it's like, it's one of those things of if. And I'm like, it goes to the idea of why in a D&D setting, uh, where you want to play with a combat wheelchair. So, well, okay, it was made as a homebrew thing. You just gotta play as a paraplegic, I understand. You know what? You know what's the fun of the other class? If you want to play as a paralyzed person, play the Artificer class. Apparently it's the class, or what do they call, like, Artificer, where you can literally be a dwarf or something that has, like, a little mech suit. Oh yeah, so apparently, some people are like, so some people, like, my last stream that I did, like, he's like, have you seen Skeleton Crew? I have no urge to see Skeleton Crew. I have no urge to see it. I don't know about you. It's Disney Star Wars. I mean, if it's the follow-up and you're following a band of mercenaries, yeah, no thank you. I don't know. Alright. It has Jude Law in it, guys. They got, like, at least some good people. I mean, it's supposedly star-casted. I mean, hey, what happened to that Rogue... By the way, before I forget, what happened to Rogue Squadron? They were supposed to do Rogue Squadron. You're gonna move forward instead of, like, with Acolyte? Why don't you move forward with, like, Rogue Squadron? Come on. Rogue Squadron, make it a TV show about it. The off, like, brand X-Wing pilots that fight the Imperials. Huh. No, but seriously, like, apparently, if I forget though, and make a better topic before you forget. So, how do you like the fact Dev is burning bridges with everyone and melting down in the last few weeks? Because this is what people don't get. Like, I heard somebody, like, from Tony's community, like, TJ was like, Short Fat Otaku seems pretty base because he was fighting with Pippa. I'm like, what the fuck? You must have fucked really up, did you? Oh yeah, no. No. As I said, you want to side with somebody who took the shit take with Corey Kopator? Think about it. You want to take... No, okay, no. He, apparently... I'm gonna be very curious if, apparently, V is distanced himself from him. No, actually, his audience, currently, is getting him to turn on V. Arch is staying some distance from him. I've not seen the V video. I heard about it, like... Is this recent? Is this recent or just bad takes? I gotta see that because Aiden is supposed to be doing a stream on him as well. So, take it for what it's worth. And I mean, by the way, no, I love it when he popped into the chat for Pippa. Someone literally called him Arch's lolcow. Because what is Arch's lolcow doing here? I'm like, god damn. That is belting from the bottom of the soul. That's bad when you go to another community, when you are known from... Okay, Dev was known, and he says he didn't do it. He says he didn't bully the kettle girl. I remember that. He said he didn't do that. And I'm like, yes, you did, Dev. That's like Kai Senta's audience because Iron Mouse, who has immunodeficiencies and shit, and she can't physically leave her room, and like saying that she's up there, she can't do whatever. But because that's actually, I didn't know what came across. Like, I looked at it, I was like, what's this Iron Mouse drama? A lot of people got really pissed off because Iron Mouse won, like, Streamer of the Year award over Kai Senta and other people. It's like, and then people were like, but you realize that she basically can't leave her room because she has immunodeficiencies. I mean, but that's how she was connecting with the world. But like, but then you get the one good one, and Dev piled on the Kettle Girl, and then she retired and had to make another avatar, and that's how it works. No. Remember, Hassan wanted to play Hogwarts Legacy, but he didn't want to seem like he was supporting J.K. Rowling. Do you remember when? Oh, by the way, do you remember when? Do you remember the funny thing when the whole reset era was? Was it reset era? Was basically secretly playing the game, and like they had to hit high. Yeah, that's how bad it was, right? Well, and I'm like, but this was reset era. I'm like, I'm like, he get, he gets called a chaser, right? Because of that reason. I do. Hold on. Hello, Theo. I need to. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Sorry about this. I meant to do something else. Apparently, my OBS is being a pain in the ass, by the way. Because it should be listening in on Discord. You're playing Marvel's Rivals. So apparently, that's be it. I gotta restart my OBS. Because my OBS is messed up. Sorry, smell. Sorry, good. That's my bad. I need to restart my OBS. Yes. Fixed. Okay, good. Now you can hear Smuttus. Fixed. Okay, good. Now you can hear Smuttus, and now I'm not talking to myself. Why do I want to play Carnival Rivals? It's awful. It's like I would rather play Path of Exile 2 at that rate. Yeah, so Smug, man, we'll have to rehash. So, what do you think actually causes Dev's actual issues?
I think he's autistic. I think he has the low-cow gene. Because if you notice, in any situation, he cannot help but have the last word, and this usually evolves with him. Just, but it's not like he has a smart retort. It's just him being even more and more and more petty.
Yes.
Which
It does.
like,
It does devolve. Like, I don't know. Do you remember back when he was doing? You remember back when he was actually doing? What is it? forget what in. Not before he hooked up with Scrump. Do you remember, like...
I wasn't paying attention to his streams back then.
No, he had a whole era where he tried to go anti what Sargon and them were doing. Then he decided to... He basically got a bunch of, like, trans and femboys and such. And, like, that's when Lilith, a bunch of people... Oh, yeah, you missed the other day. They wanted him to, they wanted Arch to, like, Archcast, I was gonna send it to you. They wanted him to be the, to put on the, it was him, Lume, one of the other YouTubers. Oh, no, it had the Finboy for, that hangs around with Lume.
I don't watch Lume, so I can tell you.
Hold on. Nah, I had Lume there. Where are you following near? He knows better than following me. Well, of course he's going to die. I could have told him that. Of course he dies. No, but like, how do you... If I can even salvage this one. No. So you think his dev has a lolcow gene or what? You think that's what it is?
He can't stop responding in anything. He has to just have the last word constantly. So and you saw it like with the Flyman, where he's like...
Well, no, he took the dev position.
Well, I mean, no. The problem with the dev position is it's both sides are equally bad. Also, let me blatantly take one side of the issue.
And then he's done it so many times, he's burned the communities. Like, supposedly take what Aiden said with a grain of salt.
Well, the problem is like, he can't, Nick said that he can't read the room. And what I mean by that is that he will say the most retarded thing and be like, oh, I didn't mean that. And then pretend that, like, act as if, like, you just shouldn't hold that against him. It's like, no, you went after a fine. Like, got so petty as to, like, for instance, they truncated his name on the jersey, but he didn't know that. So he, like, posts a tweet, he's like, oh my god, look at this. And then, but he does it in his vague leftist retard way, where he's like, you know, he doesn't say anything, he just points at it instead. And then people...
is it as bad as, is he almost as bad as, Adam something talking about 40K?
Is that the recent video that came out?
That was the one. It was and apparently Adam something decided to go after Arch. He said, "Oh, I saw a lot of people who did it." He didn't mention Sargon, but he mentioned Gamer Gators. It's like, and he goes, "Well, I did this as satire," and it's like,
oh,
look, we're gonna have to go over that. We're gonna actually have to go over that, the Adam something thing. It is so bad. Like,
till tomorrow, I've got Christmas party. I'll be drunk.
Okay.
I enjoy myself.
You're already doing Boxing Day early, sir?
I mean, I'm gonna be a month.
I'll have to do the other, but yeah, no, it's hilarious. So yeah, no, Deb apparently. So far forget, like, this is where TJ was like, or the trans vampires I call him. Or Eurotrash vampire. He's a self-hating. He's a self-hating Eurotrash ball. Basically, he is a special ed case in the film, and he basically just said he sounds very based. Yeah, you realize Dev sounds based for 5 minutes before you realize he says something stupid. This was the man who said he hated Trump because of the Mutt Eastman memo.
I never watched that video. It's like 3 hours long. He tried to set up the lessons.
And yes, and he gets BTFO'd by Artemis.
Frenemy.
Artemis, yes, but Artemis has a very interesting history too. Yeah, this is how deep a lot of the communities we come from. A lot of these people all came from other communities before they wound up in all Arch's circles. Now, I do like Arch's format where he's live reacting to certain videos, but the Adam something thing is just that bad. He literally says all but the whole thing, because Hitler drank water, like. But you know what his first army is getting into 40k with, because he's just starting? Guess what it is?
Is it, okay, I'm guessing, is it, let me guess for it, is it the Tau?
Yes! It is Tau. These memes write themselves. Right?
Right.
He's starting off with Tau because he likes the mechs.
Yes.
Okay, alright. Then the Gundam's aesthetic. Alright. Hey, at least he's not starting off with a Gukari. Okay. Now you go back to questions.
Okay,
What?
there's like Alex Jones reacts to each of the armies, and when it comes to the
But we all know the Tau aesthetic. The Tau aesthetic is the greater good, and then they'll just eugenics a population or sterilize a massive portion of it, just for memes. Yeah, no.
doing it for labor.
So, yeah, but Dev, right, I'm very curious. I'm assuming it's going to be the podcast with Spoon, because I would have thought Eden, literally, because I need to check Usalu's little group, because I'm assuming Scrump in that. Because apparently Dev called up Eden and just blamed me. And if I were Aiden, I would dump that. Because
Wait, he had blamed. What do you mean by that?
so he apparently called up Aiden to like saying he was gonna settle a grudge.
Okay, that pisses me off.
And then apparently he blamed her for more stuff. So take that as a grain of salt. And I mean, anyone who knows of Short Fat Otaku, aka Dev, I would just want to see him and TJ talk to each other and see who would basically admit to liking the status boot more than each other.
Well, he's a Canadian, so is it really?
And then you got TJ, who is basically a trans vampire hero trash. Self-hating, too.
That's a lot. Well, no, he's like he's the banana.
I mean, Dev is just the eternal fetish. I just have to get this out of it. Yeah. No, but why is, like, doesn't Dev, like, Arch was saying the other day, he didn't know about him getting, I had to go look up with him about Pippa, right? And I was like, oh my god, dude. Like, I think she banned him, like, because I tried to go back through that stream, and apparently, I don't know if he popped up in the Twitch side, but he didn't pop up in the YouTube side. So, I mean, because that's why we're gonna ask you, was it about the kettle thing, or was it about the Kirsch thing? Because the Kirsch thing is, I know they're friends. There's two.
Said you bullied my friend Kirsch.
It said you bullied my friend. I heard you bullied my friend. She was also friends with the other one, but yeah. And apparently Dev's been burning down more communities, and I'm waiting for him to go after Arch. Arch isn't going to burn him. I mean, Sargon ain't gonna burn him. I mean, I know Uzalu would throw him underneath the bus.
Yeah, he insults him.
But I want to see Arch talk to Scrump, and then have, because
I know who's Conte that's going on.
I remember. Okay, Smug, do you remember about a year ago? It's more than a year ago. May of year, right before the whole thing was funny, when I had to figure out what happened to Weasel. He basically, Dev sent a message to all of his so-called friends and said, if you talk to my enemies, I won't talk to you anymore.
Okay, about that. Yeah.
And I saw that
He
message.
did Destiny.
I'm like, whoop.
He did the Destiny.
And Arch did the thing like he ignored it. But I also remember back when, after the Minecraft server, this is the funny thing, and Uzulu still has the videos of it. He said he tried to get Sargon to throw Uzulu underneath the bus on stream. He goes, well, Sargon, your buddy was trying to do stuff. Does that not sound shitty, Smug? Like, you literally are shit-storing on stream, and you go in and you delete it, apparently. And he lied why he also had the falling out with Ace 1918 too, apparently.
I mean, that's... I mean, he just constantly lies about the Discord server. Like, what gave him such a bad code? Not bad.
Which one? Ace or who?
No, because there was something that happened for an extended period of time. He just, was it the fireman thing? Where he ended up apologizing?
Which year are we talking about with Dev?
Look,
The VTuber thing, the fireman thing was this year. Because after... Oh! Oh, he took the he took the Destiny take. The Corey Kopator was not here.
What I'm talking about is in this so when he kept spiraling with the whole fireman thing, and people get shit on him.
And he was also moving.
He made a community post where he said, okay, I'm extending a hand out to everybody, really unbanned, if you want to be unbanned.
No,
you know,
he was called Bad Faith. He started banning people from the server for Bad Faith.
Yeah. Bad being bad. But when you call, he made some, I can't even remember his reasoning. If you call him bad faith, he means
If you just call him maliciously bad faith.
Rise.
Oh my god, that didn't even get him to 60. What the fuck? That is ridiculous. That should have got him to 60.
Are you grinding?
No, I'm trying to level a friend, and apparently... Yeah, I can carry him eventually, because I'm doing Quill-volley. I mean, solo I can do up to about 90. Barring, like, the problem is Quill-volley is the farming build, basically. It's the best, it's the fastest farming build, so to speak.
Is it easy to respec?
Well, Spiritborns, it's the very definition why Spiritborns are broken. But they're also the most unholy creators of lag.
Let's get a better PC, bro.
No, that does not help at all. Literally, that doesn't help, like... Because Quill-volley is very... It's... The one thing in the engine, because they use proprietary engine for Diablo 4, because one game said, it used Unity, it used Unreal 4. No, it's a version of their own version of proprietary engine. It just does not do attack effects really well. So like if you're increasing your attack speed, or your spam, it's the same reason why Path of Exile sucks. because it doesn't do... What happens in the game when you're spamming a bunch of effects over and over again? Frame rates go to die, basically. And what is Quill-volley? Quill-volley is the build that spams the attack button over and over again. Yeah, that's why I have to be quiet and focus here. You just get the right time. So, other than that... But no, Dev's whole thing, right, and now apparently, right, but it's really bad, because I need to see the stream. And someone went into Aiden's Twitter, like, I don't know if you saw that Twitter thing. Does that mean you're not going to share, does that mean you're not going to share them with Kiwi Farms?
I'll just say, am I keeping up with this? If it's just been whenever I look into it?
I'm not really keeping up with it. You can't really keep up to how many bridges Dev burns. He burns, like...
Well, I mean, I subscribe to him.
I mean,
actually, no, that's a lie. He's burnt a lot of bridges.
I mean, the fact alone, he can't even... I have a friend who's really close to Dev. Not close to Dev, but was closer to Dev. I talked to them. They shared secrets with me. And basically, there's some internal stuff. And it's really funny, but I've never really and the whole thing is, I kind of told them, it's lucky that Dev has no one's ever gone to Kiwi Farms. Like, Arch probably has the most damning DMs to get to anybody. Like, Norn Queen, you remember, like, in Warhammer, Norn Queen Alexa, who was, like, a bitch entirely? Like, apparently he sits on tweets that she, and there's DMs where she was racist. Like, hell, she's supposed to be progressive. But also, she's a Sister of Battle player, as well as a Slaanesh player. But she's a former goth girl. As I said, these memes right themselves. A lot of these people who intersect in our lives. But no, Dev, like, what do you think's gonna happen with, like, Scrumble, though? Like, I'm so curious if Aiden, because I know Aiden's going to dump into it. But I think that's the podcast she does with Spoon. Because what was funny is, Arch and Spoon actually had a good conversation.
You have seen Kittus, so...
Have I seen it? Yes.
Yeah, so no, you know, they had that back then.
It's funny how they don't really defend that. Some of them don't.
Well, because they don't. I mean,
They don't really know who he is.
Well, what's for defend? Like, that wants to be a retard. That's his prerogative. Like, there's no... the thing is, there's no two ways about it. He's just saying stupid crap.
Well...
Like, to defend Dev, you just need to be willfully dishonest.
Well, I used to have big... I call him communist thief.
I used to call him one as a kid.
Oh, I like the tweet, though. I like the tweet, though, that I sent you when they were... UK was talking about Canadians getting a healthcare model for, like, MAID. And then Arch did the whole thing with a patient of Dev on a person smothering an old person with a pillow.
I mean, back in the day, it would be funny because it's ironic.
Well, it would be funnier if it weren't Dev in the modern era.
Yeah.
Who basically said on, like, a rant or something, he's fine with the state silencing people. So we don't know where he'll be in 4 years.
Canadians and Australians and I swear they're not a real place. Because I remember when the whole trucker riot was going on. I think it was there. Well, he probably simply said it.
Oh yeah, the trucker video.
He's never
No, he never will.
Whenever someone's
He'll have to
thinking-
acknowledge. He will literally have to acknowledge that.
Yeah. Said you have to acknowledge that. The government did something wrong.
No, basically, he actually have to say, yeah. I know I need to fix this. He goes, you're not using the particular. I'm like, you're right. I'm using something different. It's fine. But release the other. No, he'd have to acknowledge. He apparently didn't vote for Trudeau twice. And the whole thing with the trucker video, what's funny is we told Dad, and I've said this to Canadians, I go, that was your last gasp of freedom for your generation, for your country. And that has aged very well. That was the last gasp of basically conservative Canadians, basically, there.
It's just unreal. So I remember speaking to them, and like, they said word for word, a little bit of Puritan is okay. So that's so fucking wild to say.
Well, basically all Canada has left is left and left.
Oh, sounds like it.
All they got left is either got moderate left or left to vote for. And it's funny because in the Adam something video too, I thought was funny. He actually called the Ukraine Maiden riots or whatever that gave Zelensky power. It's like he thinks in the West we never knew that. We never knew it was bad, right? Like we all knew Ukraine was a corrupt place. Oh, by the way, if you ask Dev or any of these people, they've never heard of Burisma. I have followed.
Modern day leftists only know about Marvel movies and World War II. They don't.
Well, do you remember about the Burisma story and how the guy basically got, the guy behind it was putting a whole bunch of people up with, like, BTFOing him, basically? I'm like, well, if that's the case, then yeah. I gotta see. Interdiction. I don't know which one of those are. Codex of power. What is it? What is it? Interdiction? Is it redirected and interdiction? I don't Yeah, those are the two aspects I'm not using because they have to deal with blocking. And I'm not blocking. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so. Yeah, I had to do, what was it? Yeah, my sound, right? See, I need to invest in a sound mixer. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, so see, it's one of those aspects I'm not using because it has blocking attached to it. Yeah, I need to check that V one. You there, Spoon?
Hmm?
Or you walk off to go make tea like Sargon and never come back?
Bro, it's 11. I'm about to go to sleep.
You're good. No, I'm teasing. Okay, you don't know the origin of that joke, though.
No.
That was back during the whole thing when Arch and B and them would stream, and Sargon goes, I'm gonna go make tea, and he disappears for 30, 40 minutes to boil the perfect pot of tea. So what time would you be available tomorrow to go over some stuff? Like the Adam
Very
song?
late. It's a Christmas party.
Okay, how inebriated are you? Gotta be.
I mean, it's a Christmas party. How would you expect? In Leeds, people like to drink a lot.
Wow. Yes.
So completely fucked up. I'll probably do an all-nighter. I don't like getting drunk. It's scary.
I mean,
So I just stay
oh,
up all
I
night.
also,
Well, I mean, I don't like throwing up.
Did
That's
you
what I don't like
actually?
throwing up.
Oh, I forget. Did you about the story I bookmarked it? Apparently, there's a famous pub in a part of like London or a London suburb or something for you.
I'm in Leeds, so I couldn't tell you.
Somewhere apparently because one of the neighborhoods complained, Karen complained about the outside, and they're trying to shut down this pub that's been in business for, changed hands for like 100 years. All because some neighborhood Karens are very unhappy.
Yeah, that happens.
What do you mean?
Well, like from random person gets pissy,
And you know,
and it becomes a massive news
and they have
story.
put all sorts of disclaimers up, like, don't be a nuisance, don't do this.
Don't be a menace.
But apparently people don't follow it. It's about as follow. But yeah, you have your Christmas party. It would be fun. We probably have to plan something. No, the Adam something video is pure cancer. Okay, I get it. I'll say this. Usually what you see is a lot of outsiders who come into 40K, right? He even said, instead of buying official models from GW, buy them from eBay and 3D print them.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, this is the gift. This is the stuff that writes itself, right? These things write themselves. So, I think, like, figure it out, though, like, but yeah, like, there's been a lot happening. Oh, by the way, before I forget, did you hear about the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO?
Yeah, I saw this. I saw this
Like,
guy.
literally, I think I saw it turned on, like, Twitter in a day. It goes, person assassinated in broad daylight. I'm like, what? No, well, not broad daylight, broad night, basically.
I mean, it's yeah, the light's all shining on the guy. You can see him
Like,
very
and I'm
clearly.
like, nah, no way. In the modern era, a modern CEO of a healthcare thing just gets murdered. Oh, apparently, by the way, I have to look it up. So apparently, on the same day he was assassinated. Before it happened, Nancy Pelosi made an investment in a company that same day. And when
As they say, if you want to get rich, follow Nancy Pelosi.
She is literally. Remember, she tried to bet on the whole chip stock, you know, and for some bizarre reason, she invested in MSI and Nvidia.
It's so strange. Just got a real good eye for doing, you know. Don't question it.
Don't question it. Just remember, you know, George Soros and his thing.
Just remember, if Nancy Pelosi, what kind of stuff?
I don't even. Okay, so the funny part about a lot of the stuff with Pelosi, like, I don't believe half of it. I just saw someone she made an investment in a United Healthcare. Like, but the more interesting story is, I'm like, who would want to assassinate the head of United Healthcare? Like, that was a hit job worth it.
I saw something. I was like, oh, this doesn't matter. Like he had the bullets in. He had done something really shady, the United Healthcare guy.
Did he, like, have the Epstein connections and he was refused?
I mean, like, supervillain tier, like, oh, this isn't looking good.
Like, I mean, and the funny part about it is, like, and you look at the camera video, like, I can't show it on YouTube. Like,
maybe it's a Shinzo type.
Go look at the video, it's like the weirdest hit ever. It's like, he even walked over to double tap the guy. Like, he emptied the entire clip into him.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
situation.
I'm just like, what the fuck? At least, you know, it's not like the good old Mexico, like, where they just spray a bunch of bullets, right? I wasn't expecting clean, but I'm like, clearly it was a pistol with an extended mag. And I'm like, and then somehow there was an SUV nearby, someone sitting in, no one called the cops. Until they heard gunshots or something. Like, it's insane, by the way. Like, I'm like, and then you see suddenly lights turn on, and they're like, in an SUV nearby, and the guy runs across the street. Yeah, go look at the video. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm like, the whole thing's just crazy to me. Like, and it's a real story. It's like, I'm like, why would you? Because I didn't want to look at it. I'm like, well, it could just be a weird Twitter story. Well, apparently it's true. Because if you go look at the video that got released, the closed camera footage, or capture footage, or whatever.
Yeah. T3, what the fuck?
Huh?
33 cases. Let me post it.
Yeah, cause I'm like, why would you assassinate him? Like, unless, and it looks like the weirdest job too. Like, you know. And that's almost like the pistol jam, too. I was just like... Because if you go look at the video, it's like... It's not like New York City. There aren't people sitting in cars. You know? And then he just runs off across the street. I mean, at least it's not like, you know... But I still think London has our country beat as the most Does your city does London still have the most cameras per city?
I'm actually gonna need to search that later because I need to log off. Like
Yes,
right
you
now.
take care. I will catch you.
See you around, boss.
Yep, I'll see you tomorrow. Just message me earlier. I should be up earlier. I wake up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, sure.
Smug. Yeah, I can't show the video of him getting killed. This is definitely weird. I have a person asking if I've seen Skeleton Crew. I really have no urge to see Skeleton Crew. Unless it's for memes. But yeah, there's a lot that's been happening in the last week, basically. See, I need to get this build better. It's like the reason I'm not using blocking. See, what happened is, why is there soar here instead of vortex size? I got greedy and thought I could get vortex size with the last remaining charges. And I can't re-roll it. So it's wonderful because you can only retemper an item once.
Stick to the trees and keep safe.
And you're not allowed to retemper an item, and I feel that it sucks because you can't redo it, and you should be able to redo it, but you can't. And that's a really good item, but Soar is also a build, so I can use that there. By the way, I'm not a huge digging of these. The problem is the Ascendant ones, not getting really what I want. I'm getting better, at least. Thing is, it's just very weird. Like, I'm trying to see. You know, it's like you can get like a mythic, but I got one mythic, but no one's doing these though. It's, See, the current problem with Diablo 4 is a lot of builds. Like, this build could easily play up to it. I mean, it's kind of what it's made for in the turn. But it is a very much the case of I do have like another set of gauntlets, but I'm not. I have to have max points. I haven't fully committed to the overpower build yet. So, and that's good. I'm not going to play MOBA's rivals. I don't play MOBAs. That's why I said Arch likes, like, he used to play Dota. Or no, he used to. I hate the lance. is coming up. I mean, granted, if I just do my normal thing where I just pull the Archon and say fuck off, sure. But that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm kind of losing the whole RNG in this just sometimes. When the RNG goes bad in this. Besides the lag, because I know the servers aren't the greatest. What the fuck is this lag? That's not good. Server just really, I'm pissed off at that. I ain't gonna murder it. Maybe 20 seconds. I have said it and I'll say it again. This build and basically frame rates is not your friend. Alright. Nope. Hold on, close. Yep. That didn't go as expected. Shit run, but it still gives me an gives me a unique. Gives me the fucking oh look, see another Harley Quinns. But these are solo though, so a lot of these the rewards are solo because they're not united. And look. something I think they know about, but it's close. It's closer you are to the person. In fact. Basically, I'm pre-firing. That's how I am. The problem is you do have to pre-fire, and it's not a good strategy. It's a very bad strategy. It is really, really bad. Like, in this game, having to do it. Thank you. It is something I need to do because I need to remember to put points into counterattack, which I have a passive for that I haven't done, which will probably help me out for a little bit. But I haven't just redone it. I've been doing other things. I'm too focused on the other. It's probably depends if I actually successfully dodge too. So. I heard a goblin. Fuck off. There was a goblin. Hit with something else. And it could be a really bad driver if you happen to had to do that this morning as well. Oh, come on. I hate this one. Yeah, but that's one thing that's funny is like Sketchbook was talking about Dev and like I would love to see this video and talk to Dev. Man, Jesus. Who would be the worst leftist? Because Jesus, they're careful. Most people much of a history. There's a reason I made fun of Dev though. You will see one of the more interesting debate philosophies in this game. Do you speedrun this with the lowest time possible and fastest time possible? Or do you just go through it? As usually, it's a debate between players. Because I've heard it the way of I clear at least the majority of it, and then we worry about it. But narrow corridors, I am not the hugest fan of when I have to do this. It's gotta like throw salt over your shoulder kind of thing. Yep. Still on more interesting stuff happening in the world. A lot of gear that's ancestral, but not good. Alright. I love how it keeps giving me Godslayer crowns, like I'm gonna use them. I see if the volume is different, because I had to mess with my volume in streams, because it's weird, because I actually had to lower it, because the thing about it is, that's because whatever happened in one of the updates.
Wasn't too hard.
Really?
Damn this old knee.
It's a 1200 max life. That's funny. Like, I would like... See, certain things I would like to get up into in some of these trees, but it's not like they're useful in a way. This is lightning resistance, you got a couple. Like, I'm gonna have to potentially respec a little bit. Like, if I get to, like, where my friend is, like, 200-300 or so, you know, closer. I mean, 20 more points is different. Well, look, only 2 builds. This Quill-volley and that. I have given away more than my fair share of just gear from this character. And what's funny is I'm on your shoulders. So I'm like, go up way. I'm like, sure, I ain't gonna do it. Then I go, I wind up doing it, and I wind up getting, which would have been the top 1% gear, at least with 2 gears. Expiration is not imminent. Piece of shit. Supposedly this is supposed to be the patch for like Marvel's Rivals, and like, I don't know why you have to do day 1 for like Indiana Jones, but what the fuck does that even matter? And whatever some of the stutters would be in the game. I mean, literally NVIDIA updates itself for like one game. Straight Nah, but I heard about a lot of stuff happening in politics lately. Really interesting. hoping that some of this stuff gives me at least like a 2-star or 3-star ancestral item. Could be better. You never know with this build. Like, this build, it's very particular. I need a ring, I need that. It doesn't mean I'm gonna get it. My FPS is staying stable. The problem itself is something's not right. You don't patch that much as you have to do with like Windows does and not screw up a bunch of shit. I've had the issue of, and I did that this morning because I didn't play this morning for a reason. Like a period, I actually had to. Let me check something. Disk cleanup, but also too, the problem itself is like. You think you nail all the weird files because a bunch of stuff got used this morning. Fuck. Ouch. Problem is this game started to kill it. Knuckles. Like, not my knuckles, but it's like around my hand. It's just hurting. Because there was an actual update to Windows, and then they did a whole bunch too this morning. You don't patch that much or change something in Windows without causing a giant clusterfuck everywhere. But what's funny is it got rid of a giant page file that had been like bothering my system for like a bit. But in reality, right? Can't help it. Some of that fan I have as much as my computer. The problem is this game and certain games just make my. I mean, hell, probably that's a problem with like a lot of games. A lot of games that are actually like high functioning, the fan is always running. Especially AMDs. AMDs are known for being hot boxes. Wintertime, I really don't need a heater. Yeah, funny. See, the one reason I don't like Path of Exile, like, never liked it, is pre-generated dungeons. Like, if I wanted to do pre-generation dungeons, I would play this, or I'd play something similar. Here's the thing, all this is pre-generated dungeons. It's easy to read, it's easy to use them, but they're a mess. Servers are a lot like cursed is always like shit though. Like when I play something that's not this character, I'm doing a little bit better. Even though it kills faster, but there's that level of frame rate drop, which is just cancer. It's not even frame. It doesn't even drop the frames as much as it drops them. Why? Polearm level 2, and there's boots level 2, really. But I guess it's the last one that I have too, so sure. A lot of 2. Shattered Vow, okay, I understand. Pendant Grave. Fire. Pointless. Nope. Not good. Hey. Yep. I am thinking of messing with Shattered Vow, though. Shattered Vow is a funny thing. Like, I need to look at my, centipede and see about the executions. And that's what it does. So if something is... And now the question is, would it be better than my Wushu? Or Wushu, basically. That's a question. Something is trying to fucking update because I know it's here. No, it ain't that one. How do I know that? Oh yeah, like if you're... These are where the bargains come in. So a lot of the bargains, like if you're looking for offensive legendaries, you're looking for them. You can go in here and just look. I mean, you're talking passive ranks, you're talking the other one. Offensive aspects, offensive stats, basically. I don't know if it actually works, because I've never really tried it. Because no one really does Undercity. But do. But it's weird to say do, but it's like, it's not an activity you see a lot. But, again, when you come down here for this, like, tributes, outside of masterwork materials, what the fuck do you come down here for? Not these. not a good selling part of the DLC where you come down here for like certain things, but like if this is a selling point for a time trial arena, give us a reason for it. Now I have to get more level 2 star guy. Again, because I don't know. But honestly, I've been seeing it long. I did go into Fallout 76, but Fallout 76, I mean, for the most part, it's just running dailies right now. Over there, I don't really need anything to farm except season ranks. Just go over there and do it. I mean, there's people, it's kind of like alive and dead at the same time over there. I had one server that was really busy. It's also Thursday, so yeah, but most of that population is an older population that plays that game too, so give or take, actually how many people realized that there was a new season. I mean, if you're doing events, I mean, you're gonna level up. But over there is different. Now the question I take is, do I take this into the overpower build section? I am pondering it. But I might watch the pilot of Skeleton Crew just to see what the feel of the series is. But I am currently watching do Prophecy, which I think is gonna be interesting. It's supposed to be based on like Sisterhood of Doom, which, granted, I mean I've known that it gets a lot of the house novels aren't that bad. It's just weird type of storytelling. I mean, they're not adapting it one for one. It's gonna be how they execute it in the show. I'm not gonna lie though, the entire series is pre-generated tiles. Badly. These pre-generated tiles are pretty much... There isn't many textures to these things. Like, when you go look at the textures... They all start looking the same. running these aren't as bad. No one really runs these particular because they're solo based, basically. And they're like, well, but why are you gonna drag someone along that doesn't have it? It's like, because it's easier and you could just, I tell you, it's what the game does. It keeps giving me weapons. It keeps giving me 2-star weapons. I'm also in the weird losing war with hydration currently. Because the worst thing about having when I have like a sinus infection or a cold and flu is I dehydrate very quickly. It's always been that way, at least in the last. I want to see something. I like the look of this. It doesn't look right. Why does it still have the red though?
looks good for what it is, but it's a very off color. Like, it looks good, but it is very... This is actually the Craze of the Dead Gods, and then the other. There we go.
That's tolerable. But the hunt for gear is always long going. Like, I need to replace my ring, but it needs to be a dex ring. I mean, but everyone wants to have all of this stuff attached to this build. Like, I need balance again. But basically, I need another ring. I would love to get a 4-star hunt. Midnight Sun. But the idea itself, trying to find an amulet, of course, my whole philosophy with this is just not block. Basically, build the stacks of this old. Like, if I can get enough dexterity to maintain my higher stuff, I'll easily go do, it's brain farted. I'll do another set of runes for overpower damage. I'm halfway tempted to just go and just do Banish Lord. Potential untested. But Banish Lord is very different. It's the pure overpower build. But that means I also lose like a big chunk of my armor. But it also means I'll have more overpower damage. Means I'll have to make a farm somewhere else. It could be possible. But to be honest, the mythic build is very different than another build. Like, I'm already doing it, basically. You know, what would be the overpower build? The way I'm getting a lot of fortification. Using Banish Lords. It'd be funny if one of the cats discovered there's always spare food lying around because their cats just don't nibble. So it's like, But I was like, I could play without a druid barrier. I can't. Not in this class. There is no playing without that. You cannot play without the druid barrier. Not like, well, this tier, not allowed. It's not allowed. The only reason I'm doing this in tier 3 versus tier 4 is just, it doesn't make a difference in the boards. I mean, in reality, it's suddenly different. But the time to kill, I don't have to worry about having such the ones that waste it. Like, if you're doing gold or something, like, you're worried about it, you probably would do it that way, but not really. Imagine having the unfortunate job of having to put her down like every like part of the story for Kursk is if you actually do the quest. Starts off with her, she got seduced by Mephisto like 100 years ago. Basically, she rises every like 20 years, and some unfortunate sod always has to. SOB, basically. Yeah, sob. Basically has to put her down again. It's like, well, we all know, like, lore-wise, it's a little weird. And the only thing I hate about excuse me? You're the laggiest motherfuckers I've ever seen. Console. I will bet money those are console kids. That level of desync, going forward and going backwards like that is a bad sign. Those people are definitely like, crossplay is good. Well, man, does it come up with some really bad issues. The end. Sinuses. That has actually been my issues for so long. Let's see, I need to replace this ring. I need definitely a 2-star, like, amulet. But at the same time, you actually still need more gear-dependent stuff. Come on.
Where's the other one? Wasn't sure if that would look good in blue, but it does. To be fair, some of those, some, like, aesthetics here, right? It's just like there's no plate. It's just the chess pieces don't look right. It's the only thing I hate. There, you know, is that. It looks weird. You have that barbarian look, but every other thing just isn't gonna look right on the chess piece when you actually change it. Because you can either go like a common one, which would be like this, right? You have that. Works. A little bit of fur, which is okay. This is like one of the others, but I just don't think it's very defensive. Weather tunic is just a weather tunic. Collar is a collar, right? See, that doesn't look right at all. See, sturdy tunic is about the closest you get if you want to keep that aesthetic. Very much of an aesthetic person. You know, runic mail, you're just basically. Like, I like the look, you know. Looks better. Like, I mean, they call that the heavy chess piece. Yeah, heavy chess piece if you're not thinking you're about to get showered with arrows. But don't never forget, the native savages have to have literally no armor at all. Like, apparently they never understood at some point you were gonna have to have basically that. I mean, aesthetically, this looks right. No, closest we get. Doesn't look right. It just still looks off. That just is, see, that looks off on this because of the other. I mean, that's close enough, but it's even if you look at the skins for the shop, though. They're not much better. Even the skins for the shop, like for Soulborn, or Spiritborn, I should call it. Spiritborn don't even still look off. Like, if you look at like the Spiritborn, very much like that's very blasphemous, like Blasphemous 2 kind of style. That's actually purely adorable that they give the Witch Doctor to the one. So, like, most of the Spiritborn, when you look at their equipment, this one looks good, but this is like their higher. But then they got like 3, right? This is a centipede skin. But you have to understand, like, this is pure, like, there's like only 3. I mean, compared to like something like Necro, right? Necros usually have good. Like, this looks really good, but this is like the one. This skin is on Rogue. If I ever used Rogue, very much like samurai look, but that's based upon the one for Barbarian. Brain farting it right now. This is one of my favorites that I like. Like, Necros usually get really good skins. This is a very old one. It's one of the originals. Season 1, 2, or 3. That's season, and it looks really clean, really good. So a lot of these are actually really, really damn good when you look at it. See, like, Necromancer has, like... See, in the first Warcraft Legend ones, I just didn't like it. Like, these were just weird. Sun Sorcerer, right? The Blades and Necro. Now, that doesn't look terrible, but... as I said... that just looks... I've seen this in-game, though. This is funny. It just looks very off. I've actually seen someone who bought that one. Oh yeah, see, that's the one that's missing. Here. They look pretty good for what they are. But none of those skins actually match the aesthetics. One for one. But I definitely need. But for the amulet I need, but for the gauntlets, yeah. I'm a lot of armor. Sleep too. By the way, I was curious why yens are used over these. Now, it's something I would have to see if it makes that much of a difference. I mean, it could probably not make that much of a difference. Yens are used for free casting. So the idea, maybe you would just use those. You better not crash in turn for what?
That is a proverbial car crash. What the hell? Well, thank you. I just came in here with 60 seconds. I just lost like 40 for no reason. That's really bad. I mean, Black Fridays are good for certain games where people buy them, but they're also not good because a bunch of people, it dumps a lot of players into a game, but it also makes it worse. You know, I wanted kinda. Well, I'm at least back to the starting time. What the fuck? I might could need to go up to tier 4 and see how that works. I think it's because of the tier I'm on too. I'm on tier 3, and I suspect this tier is very highly volatile because a lot of people live in either tier 2 or tier 3. I also thank God I'm resolute, have all my resolute stacks too. That would have killed me. probably go over the nightmare dungeons because, to be fair, a lot of these are just, it's kind of what it is, though. He needs glyphs, so. So when you get used to seeing one common texture file, you're going to actually start looking for something else to do as a break of scenery. See, I don't know which one he's going for. I'm kind of curious which one he's going for. He's going for Soar. Soar is the other one. Simple solution is to nuke everything. Kind of screwing around with the one that's the quills come back for like 63% of their damage back to the center. It's a weird one. It is a very, very weird one. See, he's helped me out, so I just basically help him out too. Man, I swear to God, every time I do play with him, though, He has all these kind of lag. Honestly, I think it's really the part of the world he lives in. Supposedly he lives in Pennsylvania, but I swear to God, if he lives up there and has this bad of internet, Jesus. People, that's what I'm doing. No, you are. Okay. Oh, he's doing a fade. I might have to move clutter back up to max. It might actually help in the bottlenecking, not to bottleneck my own card, apparently. It could be an issue. issue. Could be bottlenecking, because I tried to make a change, but I think I'm bottlenecking it horribly. Because I thought, like, well, if I take down clutter, right? Like, if I take down the clutter, it would help, but apparently the help's worth nothing. Oh boy, though. Um. And that is why I brought up the tier. But it is a horrible thing. Oof. He's doing evade. Oh, I bet that's the treasure room. Hold on. This is the one Engel comes from. Ingil's from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Actually a good film, but even the world's worst adaptation. Honestly, he has this problem, he never clears stuff. Terminally irritates me. It's a pet peeve of mine. So that is him. I saw like a massive aura. That's a bigger aura than mine. He has a big aura though. How are you, Senna? Oh, besides feeling not like shit, but dealing with sinuses. At least it's going well to a degree. I have this build at least better, but it's not the best. First had him do mic work this morning and then figure it out. Because one of my settings on my mic was off. But also it screwed one of the recent Windows updates. Literally messed with everything. visuals. Yeah, sinuses are just, it's bad. Makes you feel like shit. It could also just be the crud that happens in through here. But yeah, I'm overall just trying to stay hydrated, but good luck on that one. Yeah, but see, he's going off an evade build. I am personally not sure if I would trust the evade build. The evade build went down in terms of viability. See, Cynic, like, I'm a learner, basically, when it comes to watching plays. Like, I've seen enough of these builds, particularly, to know what I need to do and not do. Even though I screwed up on my gauntlets because I got greedy, I know well enough I know if I get fucked over early on in trying to find the one, I'm probably not going to get both. But at least the sword Quill-volley is at least up there. Tempering is what I despise in this game. You can't reset tempering more than once. So see, I do this build a little bit differently than the others. You put your own, as I say, a lot of it is, I understand why they go fulminate. It's not as bad as it looks, but it's still an out of place. See, what's funny is, it's like why he asked why I wasn't doing the blocking ones. I'm like, I'm not in combat enough to block. I'm trying to clear through. And to be honest, I've been lucky for him. But it's funny though. I'll have something I'll do with it. Really. No, I'll have something to do with Smug tomorrow, at least. But it's funny you missed earlier because we were talking about in the beginning about why Dev is a retard. If you don't know anything about, I don't know how much you know about short fat otaku. Dear God. No shit, you're probably 3 out of 5. He's 3 out of 5 in the ones he needs. Yeah, but like if you know enough about short fat otaku, yeah, you'll find out a lot. Like me and Smug know more. That's why I think it's so funny that TJ was like talking to him. Then again, it's like this whole idea too. I'm just like, but I do want to see those two retards talk together. Again, the question would be who would lick the state's boot more. I know it would be Dev, but in reality, it would be funny. Because they're both concerned centrists. Or Overton Windows centrists. Yeah, see, I know the full lore on him. Because, like, a lot of people don't know why he was been fighting with, like, the whole thing when he got owned by Pippa recently. That's because he's been fucking with Kirsch for a long time. Like him and Kershie, or Kirsch, depending on how you call her that, Fox girl. She basically has been. They have been going back and forth for a very long time, and it goes back to Lilith, aka Dragon Fat, who basically was one of Dev's mods. And that's why Pippa told Dev to politely go walk in Minecraft himself. That's what's funny. It's like, but then again, you look at someone like TJ. TJ's like, he hates like VTubers. He hates Markiplier. He hates anything mainstream. Anything he thinks that doesn't fit his narrow worldview. And I think I find it the most weirdest contrarian shit in the fucking world. Oh yeah, no, there's a bunch of lore to Dev. A lot of people don't fucking know. Like, go back further, right? That man is known for blowing up a community and fighting within a community every year. Think of how many people, like, you think Tony is, like, terrible? Like, people like Tony or EVS are, like, really shit? Like, Dev is basically the type, like, when he does something really stupid, like, Dev will literally threaten his friends and go, do not talk to that person, and or I'll cut you off. But it's always something he starts that he always has to get the last word on. Because Dev has been around a long time. But as I say, Dev used to fight with Rags a lot. Now, Rags... That's why I said a lot of people, like, they only know certain parts of, like, lore for those people. But, like, right now, it's like if you look at, like, Aiden Paladin's Twitter, right? She basically, I'm curious about it. Because, like, imagine a conversation, like, Dev will literally blow up stuff and then threaten people. His friends go, well, if you deal with that one. But then you realize the other friends groups, like, that's why, like, the whole reason, like, he had a falling out with Scrump, and then he basically told everyone, prime example, Arch or anybody who wanted to talk to Scrump, if you stream with him, I'm not going to talk to him. Like, he will not talk to anyone from Uzalu's community. He just calls them crazy at the end of the fucking day. And the whole thing is, TJ didn't know. It's funny, like, I'd be curious on how much TJ and them would agree upon the fact that he told Corey Kopator to basically go, wasn't a hero. That was actually a legit thing Dev got himself into in the summer. After the Trump assassination, because he took the Destiny position. Cynic, that is the type of person. That's why I was like... And also, but my sketchbook hangs out in that community, too. You know, I'm like, God sakes. These people need to stop it. Just remember, like the whole thing with Pippa, right? Someone in Pippa's chat, they know Dev is Arch's locale. That is how bad it's gotten. That's not a good title. He's basically Dev is his super chat money. When he wants someone to say something dumb. Like, currently, like, Dev's community is, like, so, like, Dev in reality is probably believes the center. See, to understand Dev, it's a weird thing, right? He defined himself as a classical liberal. He isn't. Like, Edward Wright is a progressive. You'll learn that if you talk to him enough. He's a lying progressive at that. But Dev also fell for a lot of the early progressive stuff. And he went from being the moderate lefty to being like the moderate lefty fighting the right to supporting Obama to like 08, siding with the progressives, and he's been pretty much over there ever since. Tried to get close to Destiny at one point, didn't kind of work out. At one point wanted to be opposite of the Overton window because he always tries to do both sides bad. But there is no way you can do both sides bad if it's the Democrats burning everything down. See, Cynic? That's why it doesn't work. Because it's not been the conservatives acting up in the last about 4 years or 6 years. It's all been the progressives who basically gutted out the Democratic Party. And Dev believes his little fat ass can sit on the fucking fence in the Overton window. And his whole reason for hating Trump is actually the Eastman memo. Seriously. and he believes, like, basically Trump is Hitler and other shit. Like, but this is also the same dev that, because the government didn't provide the answer, said that the Hunter Biden laptops weren't real. But then after about 2 years, backtracked on that. And he argued with V over it. Oh yeah. Dear God, if you ever want to know where a certain side of the internet is, look up certain people. See, if you want to ever see the farthest left people and how they are at the moment, look at actual fandom. Basically. That's all pretty good indicators. Because it's really crazy about, like, dev lore. Like, see, dev, for the most part, is not the most stupidest individual, but he is basically Canadians, which mainly have only left and left to vote for. Well, moderate left versus far left. And if you know anything about Canada, like, if they can't separate off Ontario, like, think about it this way, Sona. Even Hypnotic brought this up, and if you don't think about it, it's worse if you do know about it. Think of all, like, the weird crap in studios and weird people doing video game and stuff in movies. Now, they're coming out of Montreal. Or Ontario. Now, technically Canada is mostly a blasted nuclear wasteland, basically, in terms like living in Australia. Good for natural resources unless you're living in the boonies. But in reality, the cities are very much the case. Yeah. But it's really weird, like, what Dev says. And that's why I said, like, TJ would talk to him. I want to see those two talk so much. It would be so interesting, like, right up until you get about into the whole traps are gay stuff. Aren't gay. Yep. Oh, yeah, it'd be funny as hell. But they would both be licking the state's boots before the end of it. But TJ can't really argue. Dev can argue, even if it's absolute bullshit. Trust me, I have argued with people who have supported him for years. Really, on what? Yeah, like licking the state boots? Yeah, TJ would do it. TJ's admitted, right, that he's a far leftist on the spectrum. He's also a self-hating European, so take it for what it's worth. Self-hating people, and no offense, Tony has a lot of self-haters inside his audience, core audience. So, like, Dev, to understand how Dev alights, it's wherever the center of the Overton window appears to be. He will literally try to grasp at straws to win an actual argument. It's insane to how far he will go. It is purely insane. Most of our audience, Arch's audience, and V, like V just did a video recently upon it. But it's actually the whole thing. Dev's been melting down for like 6+ months. He's been in a off and on war with so many different major groups for like 2 years. Like his war with Kershey is basically going on, I think, roughly 2 years. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that he's supposedly not European, but he still sounds gay, though. Not that I really care, to be honest. I mean, but he is definitely an abusive, well, a shitty husband. I know that much. Yeah. I just think it's funny he LARPs as a vampire, though. That's why I say I think the lore is more funny that he's a gay European to me. Though I really did go overseas, man. It's funny how he got so bent out of shape that I talked about his dead dad. Yeah, it's like he really cares. I just think it's more funnier. Like, I don't know. You're not gonna really want to LARP as a fucking European, dude. It doesn't look good for him, though. I mean, it really makes him look like shit. Oh yeah, no. He holds that against me because it's funny. Like, I said that out of sheer satire. I'm more privy to his actual information, but... I mean, again, I need to review it, but... I don't care to do anything to him. I mean, he's kind of a bitter piece of shit. I don't have to do nothing to him. Karma will come to collect on him just as they do everything. Karma comes and collects on everybody, eventually. Me, I prefer to stay on the good side of karma, so if bad karma comes to collect, I stay ahead of it. But with TJ, I mean, he's tied his lot to Tony, and he can say what he wants. I mean, if he wants to LARP as a vampire, that's not weird. That's why I have the whole trans vampire thing, you know? He doesn't... I just can evolve the narrative to how I wish it. He wants to make fun of me, I make fun of him. That's why I said it's never going to end between me and him. Because he'll never be honest on how it all started. Again, ask him honestly if that's not a burner account. If anything, that is a burner account that he has. Because it'd be the most unconvincing account that he's had for years that wasn't created. It wasn't definitely created the moment he joined Tony's audience. Well, you really don't want to Look, okay. Here's the thing. Like, V's voice, he can't help it because he is Romanian, right? You know, depending on the part over there. Like, some people can sound like that. I don't know if you want to LARP like that. You know, it's horrible. If he isn't, it's It's worse on him. To be fair, you gotta think of it this way. It's worse in his case. You gotta ask why he's hiding his identity. That's the one thing you gotta understand. That's one thing you gotta realize. People who do that normally always have something to hide. Hence why I never trusted his account when he first created it. Because literally supposedly his account goes back further, but I don't buy it. That's a burner account. He'll say it's probably not. I disagree. But I want to know what community from the internet he sprung out from. Because he's a special kind of stupid. Basically. He's a special breed of it. I mean, it's just kind of like you see in your audience, you have Preston Moore and some of your people. Like, Edward literally comes out of a weird side of the internet, and he's never gotten out of it. Because TJ, I want to know what side of the internet he popped out from. Because you gotta be really, whatever the side is, he's entirely fucked up. He can't be a normal human being. And if he's cosplaying a broken human being online, that is that's a problem. Oh, Preston Moore is in Tony's chat. He's in yours. He has like the weird cat. Like it looks like a 3D cat. You'll know it if you see him. Like he's like a young kid too, younger. But like you usually don't evolve. Like, unless you break off from a community you got introduced into YouTube, you're not much difference. Because you don't want to say it out loud what community he's... I want to know what community TJ spawned out of in YouTube. Because that man is entirely jaded and bitter. But he'll hook, line, and sinker EVS's drama and Comicsgate. Because personally, I think he's the fakest motherfucker I've ever met. He literally is the fakest person. And he's definitely not terminally online. Because what he said the other day about Medicare's community and some of them, he has to come from a very weird community. Because you aren't that jaded as a human being and black-pilled unless he plays it. But, oh, by the way, he doesn't like drama, but he'll play into it. That's the funny part. And I can understand not liking FNT. Like, I can understand that. But, half the people he hates, for no apparent reason, like he hates me, he never liked me the first moment we met. We were like basically oil and water when we first met. And he just popped out of the fucking anus of somebody to just support Tony. And he's been ball washing him ever since. As I said, that established our relationship. See, the question, right? Where the fuck did he pop out? See, that's the whole thing about TJ. Like, say what you want about people who support people for no apparent reason. TJ is fine being a side man or just a loser. But at least he needs to have valid opinions. That's the problem. See, me and TJ are always going to be on polar opposite sides. Because apparently, how he personally acts and how he's a broken human being, he can say what he wants about me. But he's a broken human being. Unless he's a total liar online and hates... I mean, he doesn't like anything. And the only thing he can quote is comics that are 50 years old. You gotta ponder that a second. He can only quote comics that are like 50 years old. Jack Kirby this, Jack Kirby that, Stan Lee this, bro, quote something before the 2000s, will you? See, the only thing is I would love to pick his brain about his origins. I really, really would. I just so want to. Because a person like him is this weird fossil. Like you've either been in a time capsule for 30 years, or you just don't pay attention to culture. Like, the only thing I've ever heard him say that is base that I agree with him on is Sacred 2 is a good RPG. But other than that, most of his gaming opinions are absolute dog shit. You know. See, Senek, that would actually get you really in trouble in a lot of communities. Now, the question is, you gotta think of which Stan Lee stuff is... See, the thing about it is, right? Ranking people. Stan Lee is still influential in a lot of creation. It just depends on his work. But personally, if you ask me, I like Kirby more. That's probably because Kirby is more known... I mean, Kirby had more of an impact, but you gotta bear in mind. Stan Lee, it's just really a hit or miss, right? Like, it's just that weird part. He's iconic, but you have to understand why everyone is iconic. But see, what's funny about it is, if you ever wonder why TJ's takes, I really would love to know why TJ is such a bad take machine. And I know he is terminally online. Me? Nah. Fuck. Half the time, if I'm digging up stories that I need or something, like researching for stuff to cover. Like, there's been more interesting stuff going on. Like, literally. Like, Cynic, think about it. Did you know the French government's falling apart? Like, apparently their whole parliament has no confidence. They got literally, like, a vote of no confidence, basically. Yeah. And Macron has basically been, like, the last. Because if you ask people, they wouldn't know what the Yellow Vest riots are. It's because everyone stopped talking about it. But again, he wants to LARP the way he LARPs, and he's kind of gay. But I find it funny he'll never show his face. Like, a lot of people online, right? Like, the future of Tony's channel, right? It's okay, but first off, if I were Tony, I would not be tying my horse to Little Movie Perp. Just saying. Little Movie Perp isn't stupid, but Little Movie Perp is not known for being loyal. And he's basically Dane's butt buddy. By another nature. You're like that close to Dane. That's one of Dane's inner circle. Kind of like Cynic. Do you remember when DJ Eric was in his audience? Came over to see him? Dane used him for content. And DJ Eric really doesn't give a fuck about his section. That's something you need to people think about. Right? But no, DJ's a gay, nice, happy gay man. I'll believe that when I see it. Dane has a great many tendrils. Little Movie Perp is a leftover era from a large section of the internet. He basically is connected to the hip with Dane. One of Dane's closest confidants. Even though he says he hates Dane. I don't believe him for 1 second. Oh no, the Korea, like, what? You're talking about the Korea... What? No, the Korean martial law thing was really nothing. It was one day. That was a really grade A nothing burger. If you think about it. But no. Oh god, it's the one with the stone. Fuck it. By the way, Cynic, I have to pick your thoughts on something here a second. What do you think of this whole leaf with EVS acting like he wants to be a peacemaker and he's never done anything wrong? Ever. Like, he called out Tony, he's called out Dick Masterson, he's done the whole reversal of, like, he's never been part of drama ever. But everyone who's outside of the CG circles knows the ruin and havoc he's caused. Because I don't know if you know the arc he's been on currently. He's like, he wants to make peace with everybody. It's like, no one believes him. Like, if he wanted to make peace, the first person he would go to is talk to Eric. But he's been doing this weird redemption arc on Twitter, I've noticed. then again, so has a bunch of others. Because it's a really weird thing. Like, I've seen EVS, like, the whole thing, too, right, is EVS's course is weird. Like, his books aren't selling. Regardless. He's gone too much for drama, but bear in mind, if you can say about the indie space. But unless he makes full circle and tries to make peace with people, he's probably forever damned. Now, to be honest, he's forever damned by a great many. Like, when you look at it, I don't think he'll win against. Now, I think when he threw Eric July underneath the bus with the night letter bullshit, yeah, no. But then again, that's like the tip of the iceberg. You know, Tim Lee, you can go back to Doug Ertz, Doug TeNapel. I mean, EVS, best thing he could do is probably, if he wants to actually make peace with people, he could try talking to people. But then again, you know, he's not going to stop Trashcast because he's going to lose viewers more than he already has. Well, yeah, see, Cynic, you're seeing what I'm saying, right? As the outsider, right? Because the reason I say it, he knows. Like, I don't know if it's disingenuous. Like, the problem with, I hate to say it, it's like, think of like Dev, like, in the term of it. He is basically continuous bad faith in a way. The problem is EVS has a past. Now, say what you want about Eric July's books, they do sell. But we're not in the best economy either. So, talk about disposable income, you know, hobbies. I mean, my wallet doesn't have to open for stuff. But the idea recently, like, he needs to make peace with people. But the problem is internal CG drama is probably never going to be solved, by the way. Because what he did to Tim Lim, Doug TeNapel, and all those people, they're never going to talk to him. I'm honestly surprised if it weren't for... I'm actually truly surprised Graham Nolan, Billy Tucci, and all of them stay quiet about his trash casts. Probably because they have never received blowback from it. But see, the thing about it is, right, because remember, he asked for peace, but he hasn't approached Eric July for peace. Think about that one. And you can't deny that his comics are doing better than his. Even if, let's say, EVS has late books. Fine. Take it for what it's worth. I mean, but it's more or less. And I mean, by the way, the whole problem with Shane Davis and all of them is bad as well. Like Malin. But it's also, as I said to you on the thing, Wingens thing. Artists and women both have the same... Artistic types and women have the same problem. And the same enemy. Themselves. Because I'm very curious. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. I usually have good luck getting glyphs. Game. I just gotta feel well enough to start Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's a 2-hour tutorial. Ugh. Hour, 2-hour tutorial. Yep. I look forward to it. But man, do I know that's going to be a long game. Especially going in blind. Yeah, it's not the... You'd be surprised how people hate it, though. They don't like it because of the difficulty. Surprisingly enough. It's a combination of the difficulty and combination of the pacing. You can't really do a 2-hour game, right? Like, it's kind of like if you're doing a 2-hour prologue or something like that, and then you're getting to the game, it's gonna look weird. Tutorials, but as I said, I've heard it has it. It's probably not that for me. It depends on... I'm a quicker learner. But the idea itself is... as actually more my pace. I can figure it out. But no one ever says Kingdom Come Deliverance is good, though. It's always been a mind to play with. It's just... making time is always a problem. It's only been until recently I have what appears more time to work in one of those games. Because what a game like that is on stream versus actually playing is different. It's like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of a lie. In a way. It's very deceptive. Again, my save file says 200 hours. 200 and something hours. But that is a lie. Because of the resets. It's all about double it, basically. And then you get about, that's what I got about in my first playthrough. What's funny is I'm not even done with it. Well, see, the problem, like, it's a good game, and we're supposed to be getting, like, 17 or 12 more classes, like, next year. So, what it's worth. They're gonna give basically the D&D like about 12 others. Even though, I mean, some builds are just that OP, basically. I mean, you can coast through the game at about 150 hours. I mean, it just depends how much of a completionist run you're doing. Then are you doing both good and evil, or good or evil, basically? And then how much? But the game does initially fall apart at Baldur's Gate. I mean, I played it in the beginning, though, so... Granted, I mean, a lot of the works have been... the things have been ironed out that makes the game weird, but... They called the horniness a bug, I called it a feature, so... And then when you get to actually Baldur's Gate, right? There is not a white person in fucking sight. That city is the most diverse, degenerate hell in the fucking game. And I say that with all due respect. It's kind of like the picture of the horse, right? Part of it, the front part of it looks good till you get like to the ass, basically, and then you get to Act 3, then you realize, well, shit. You get to Act 3 and you get towards Baldur's Gate, then you realize, oh, there's really not much here. And it's a bug that was the buggiest part of the game. But it's actually a good game, and I would recommend it. I mean, it is literally, like, infinitely, as I said, we're going to have more classes. I just have to find time to play it, to finish my stuff. But also, I was playing it underpowered as well. Like, this game is supposed to be playable on like a 960 or a 1080 or a 1060 somewhere, but dear God, I don't think it's possible. Not with the rate, not with the effects in this game. Garbage. It's kind of like I want to play Lords of the Fallen. The remake. I need to finish the original first, and then do the remake. See, the old one's good too. It's just slightly different. I need to finish out Dragon's Dogma too, but I'm not very happy about the later the later classes. Like, don't ask what happened to the mystical swordsman. They call it the mystic spearman, right? That's just one of those ones. But yeah, no. Lords of the Fallen was very early before Souls-like, but it was very different back in, like, early. It's just getting time to play stuff. It's like, the only reason that I know, like, I don't play Skyrim, like, I've had it, it's just because I know I'll disappear into it, and then no one ever sees me again. Because my first playthrough is Skyrim, I'll want to 100% it. I wouldn't mod it, I would just play it normal. I played Fallout 4 Vanilla before I did anything else, same with Fallout 3. It's one of those things I need to work on. Yeah, it's... it is... Well, I mean, you talking about the old one or the new one? Old Lords of the Fallen was always weird. It's just strange combat. You know, it's... But it has a good legacy, though, so... Nope, I never played Skyrim. But ask me how many hours I have in all the Fallouts. More than embarrassing to count, to be honest. It's kind of like I was a Warcraft person. I like StarCraft over Warcraft, so... Skyrim was always a different feature. I just didn't like the layout of... Skyrim is more that it was always in a weirder spot when it came out. It's probably because I didn't like the look of Morrowind and that, because it was mainly console based. Oh yeah, no, Fallout, granted, like, Fallout 3 I played to death. Like, literally, Fallout 3 I played to death. But Fallout 3 was not moddable. Well, it was moddable, but not moddable. Because the funny thing about Fallout 3 and mods, you could do everything in mods, but play anything 3D. Because that is why I'm very curious about when they do a next gen. They're supposed to do a next gen of Fallout 3. And it's been the rumor for a while. I don't know. Skyrim, it's on my playlist. To be fair, I don't really. The problem is we have too many live service games. It drives things nuts. Some are more manageable than others. It's kind of, I've let my Honkai Impact lapse, and it's criminal. I've actually let that lapse to a big enough degree. Like, I've been doing the bare minimum over there for, like, last 6 months. I've probably missed out largely on a lot of the 2.0 story. It's like I play Genshin, but do understand, when I say I play Genshin, I don't play the main story. Like, my game is literally a freaking relic at this point. Like, my Archon narrative is literally 3.8 right now. 3.8, 3.9. Seriously. I do not play the narrative because I get lost. The problem is when I play a game, certain ones, I'll just get lost in the side stuff, and if I never have to do the main, basically if I never have to do the main, I won't ever do it. But then again, I'm from the era of Genshin when I had to go through Simaru in the beginning. Simaru killed my urge to play that game horribly. You can ask any Genshin player about Simaru. Simaru is just the land that doesn't end, basically. Semi-fun to explore, but Simaru is a narrative that goes on too long. Very poorly executed. See, Genshin is not that bad. See, Genshin is actually very good. But the thing about it is a lot of it's redundant at this rate. Like, it's mostly fan service at its core. It actually has a good story. I mean, we'll see what happens after they get through the 7 continents, but we'll figure that out. We only got one more. But Genshin is mainly like, if you took a MMO the size of WoW, shoved it into a game on mobile. Quite literally. And it goes above and below the surface. Which, bear in mind, a lot of that game is it's not a basically you do not I mean, you don't have to be caught up. You kind of have to be caught up to do certain things. Because that was kind of like my goal this year, to catch myself up. But it's not like narrative. I know what the main narrative is. But I just haven't played the main Archon quest. I just treat it like it's weird. I get lost in the exploration. And the only problem is my Archon quest is so damn far behind, it's ridiculous. And I'm like, well, maybe if I did a fucking chapter or fucking mission a night, it might be fine. But that's my point. I don't stop it. I stop at Simaru. I'm on the tail end of Simaru. Because the problem with Simaru is the narrative goes on too long in the terms of storytelling. It goes on for feels like ages. And not just that, you're waiting around sitting on doing nothing for quite some time. It's literally the gameplay for it. Because it thinks of it as like reading One Piece or watching One Piece episodes. Simaru was just that, where they drug out the narrative from 3.0 to 3.9. And to be fair, I think I've never forgiven them for it. Though it does have one good part of the story with the Scaramouche. It actually has really good characters. But current Genshin, a lot of characters are redundant. And they've already teased basically the next. I keep blanking the name right now. I am blanking. It's going to come to me later. Adepti. They've already said with the next. They've already teased the Adepti. The Adepti is going to come out here in the next, this year? Upcoming year. Which will be the follow-up to Cloud Retainer. But a lot of characters I really don't need at this point in that game. Like, I think I was gonna pick up like a few, but I think the only next one I really want to pick up is the I mean, the Archon is either the Archon is going to be on the front end or the back end of the new one. I'm just not sure where. But the Archon is probably going to be is probably going to be See, as much as I play MiHoYo games, I know how they work. A lot of characters are flat out redundant in Genshin. Like, that's just a fact. A lot of my characters are still the better versions of those characters. Like, the Fire Archon is going to be good. Capitano, basically, I think the only person I think outside I've actually picked him up. Zerial. Ugh. The only reason I won't pick up Path to Exile 2, or I'm not excited for it, is it's going to be a Diablo clone. I mean, they're not differentiate the two versions. I barely tolerate dungeon running in this. And I have played it this long, this season. That's the only problem with live service games that are really. They don't. I don't think they intended for it to be this bad, but quite honestly, if I get to 300 for Eternal, I'd feel happier. But the XP recost is too much. You finally got all of the glyphs. Which is funny. Took him long enough to get it. Probably was just pure RNG. Oh, Arch is playing it. Let's. little bit different tomorrow. But I'm not sure. I feel like I don't know why I'm tired, even though I wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. Ugh. I can barely sleep past 3 or 4. But I shall be back tomorrow, though. I'll have the thing with him in the morning. But yes, no, sinus infection's kicking my ass, so I'm probably going to lay down eventually. So. But yeah, nah, I'm just no luck in the gear for Spiritborn. I gotta replace this. I gotta replace now this. But, we'll find. And I need a better